This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2494, Why Uncertainty Can Be a Blessing, by Dr. Jenny Brockis of drjennybrockis.com. And I'm Justin Malik, and we're going to jump right into another article as we optimize your life. Why Uncertainty Can Be a Blessing, by Dr. Jenny Brockis of drjennybrockis.com. If living in the time of COVID has left you feeling more than a little unsettled, anxious, and fearful for your future, it's hardly surprising. Uncertainty has become rife. It's everywhere. It taints our outlook. It colors our worldview. It peppers our conversation as the endless debate, blame shifting, and finger pointing around who did what, said what, and didn't do leaves us feeling breathless and exhausted. Uncertainty has always been with us and will always be. The antidote is not certainty, although having some certainty can feel reassuring. The sun will rise tomorrow. The pandemic will pass eventually. The solution is to be more present to what is happening right now, because uncertainty, just like certainty, is an essential human trait. A world that is always certain would be a dangerous and boring place. Certainty means there's nothing else you need to know or learn about. Certainty does not allow for that element of surprise, the unexpected, and delight in discovery. Too much certainty blocks our imagination, innovation, or creativity. It stifles our curiosity, our desire to explore, or to change our mind. Our beliefs become fixed, and unless some uncertainty wafts our way, we can remain chained to those unwavering thoughts that may be outdated. There was so much I was taught in medical school that was presented as fact that is now known to be completely wrong. I guess that's why we learn medicine as a science and practice it as an art. We are born with a finite number of brain cells, and once we reach maturity in our mid-20s, we're on the slippery slope to inevitable cognitive decline and senility. Type 2 diabetes can only at best be managed and is irreversible. And too much fat in our diet is the cause of the current epidemic of heart disease and obesity. Wrong, and wrong again. One of my favorite TED Talks given by the late Hans Rosling, The Best Stats You've Ever Seen, is a quirky, thought-provoking expose of just how wrong we can be about some things we were sure we knew to be correct. His book, Factfulness, 10 Reasons We're Wrong About the World and Why Things Are Better Than You Think, explores this a little further. Though I have to say I found the tone of his writing somewhat patronizing, but I'll leave that up to you to decide, and it could be the effect of translation into English. Smothering uncertainty with platitudes of certainty doesn't work. A better way is to approach it like a scientist, choosing to question, unravel, experiment, and come up with a new theory or hypothesis. Our brain loves certainty because it provides us with a sense of safety. It's okay to relax because you're sure that your friends you're having dinner with mean you no harm other than a possible inadvertent dose of food poisoning or persuading you to drink more wine than is prudent. Being certain that the staircase is safe to use, that the smoke alarm will work if a fire breaks out, that the toaster will toast and not carbonize your breakfast if left on the correct setting, is all greatly reassuring. We need uncertainty just as we need positive emotion, strong relationships, meaningful work, and clear communication to question freely whether what we believe is true. But uncertainty doesn't have to be scary. Try a reframe by transposing it into a question that alleviates the associated fear. And if the question can't be answered now, that's okay. The solution or insight may come later. As Adam Grant in his new book, Think Again, shares, quote, "True progress and personal growth are born from constantly reassessing your ideas and opinions and adopting a humble approach to knowledge," end quote. Uncertainty is a gift. Stepping into uncertainty, secure in what you stand for, helps you to find meaning in the chaos of life, to retain a broader perspective, to feel grateful for what you have, to recognize your internal strengths, and adopt a realistic optimism for what is possible. I'm not saying we shouldn't acknowledge the pain and difficulty associated with the high level of uncertainty around our financial security, not knowing when we'll be able to visit extended family who live overseas, or whether vaccination will lead to return to greater freedom of movement. But we do have a choice to focus more on what is right now, what you have, what you're grateful for, and what you can look forward to, whatever that might look like. What are you paying attention to right now? How can you channel your uncertainty into a greater feeling of being at peace with the world by focusing on the power and purpose you have within? Can reappraising uncertainty raise our level of resilience? Can accepting greater uncertainty into our lives reduce our risk of burnout, anxiety, or depression? You just listened to the post titled Why Uncertainty Can Be a Blessing by Dr. Jenny Brockis of drjennybrockis.com. Thank you to Dr. Jenny. One thing that was touched on is quote unquote facts. This is tough because, like she said, medicine is a science, but can be practiced as an art. It feels very conflicting. You'll hear things that sound like scientific fact today, but then tomorrow something will disprove it. That's just how it works and how we learn. We take the best information we have at this moment in time, work with that, and then keep studying to see if new and better data come later. If that isn't uncertainty, I don't know what is. And that's uncertainty in a field that most of us assume is certain. Knowing that when we jump, we'll fall back down to the earth, science. It can all be very confusing with so much uncertainty, but like Dr. Jenny said, we need uncertainty, but we needn't be afraid of it. In my own life, entrepreneurship is a massive lesson in uncertainty, constantly, all the time. Do I know with certainty that this podcast will exist in this form tomorrow? Nope. The website can break, the technology can break, something can happen out of my control, it could all be lost. That could happen, but that's just something I have to live with, and it's all around us in different areas of life. So accepting uncertainty instead of fighting it is a critical step to take. So do take that step. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.